Good morning, bonjour, bonsoir à tout le monde. Welcome to this week's edition of Wada Forum, the 4th of July. We are very happy to have you all here with us today. Today we have a very exciting agenda in store for us. We could go to the next slide. So we will start with our general opening and then go into some exciting updates from the community. And then we are joined by our very own Nana Safo of Ghana to talk about some DREP education. And for today's session, this will be an introduction, but we hope that you all join us over the next few weeks because we will be continuing the DREP education for the next 4 sessions to get much more in-depth and give some more insight into the whole process. We're also mixing things up a bit today. We have Laurentine with us to help with the French so that I'm not just the only one talking. Laurentine, welcome. Thank you for being here. We are transitioning to maybe doing a bit more formal translation, but for today we'll sort of keep the similar format of some French summaries after the English. And then in our future sessions, we will actually have breakout rooms for the French speakers for the DREP education. Alors, Laurentine, si tu veux saluer tout le monde.
D'accord. Bonjour tout le monde, j'espère que vous allez bien. Donc, aujourd'hui, j'assiste avec la version francophone de la réunion et merci pour l'opportunité, Megan. Si je peux résumer à peu près ce que Megan a dit, nous avons au programme la déclaration des objectifs de Wada. Ensuite, je pense que nous avons Nana Safo du Ghana qui va parler des délégués représentants.
Magnifique.
Il y aura également une sorte de mise à jour concernant les activités de catalyste. Merci.
Fabulous. So now we'll go into our statement of purpose. And I think I will read the English one and I'll let Laurentine read the French one. So our mission is to elevate underrepresented groups through the application of technology and invest in a more equitable future.
Notre mission est de promouvoir les groupes sous-représentés grâce à l'application de la technologie et investir dans un avenir plus équitable.
All right, moving right along. For those of you who were not with us last week, we will provide a brief recap of important things that you may have missed from last session. In particular, we talked about some updates from our funding partners, Catalyst and SingularityNet. So SingularityNet funding round 4 has been completed, and the winners have been announced. There was one successful proposal from Edify with Wada as a co-proposer that we'll be excited to talk more about as we start to implement it. And deep funding round 5 will be coming up soon. On the Catalyst side, many of you should be aware, Fund 12 voting has already started and is going strong through the 11th of July. So just about a week left on that. On the Intersect side, we have our DREP education session that's starting this week with this very session, and we'll be continuing on the following few Thursdays to continue with these workshops. So we really encourage you to join us during this time to learn more about being a DREP. The big thing that we completed last week really was our Catalyst working group session. So we held the final discussion session and submitted our feedback to the Catalyst working group organizers. Laurentine, over to you.
OK. La semaine dernière, on a fait un récapitulatif des activités ou des réunions précédentes. Il était question de parler du vote pour le fonds numéro 12 qui, qui avait commencé en juin, le 27 juin. Et Wada a eu à présenter quelques projets qu'ils ont soumis. Et également, on a parlé de, 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 de la formation des D-Rep qui va bientôt commencer. Et il a été également question d'encourager les différents représentants ou dirigeants des rues de soumettre un projet par rue pour que WADA se charge de la publicité de ces projets-là. Bon, concernant l'écosystème intersect, nous avons également eu à parler de la réunion des DIREP, comme je disais, l'éducation des DIREP ou la formation des DIREP, comme je le disais tantôt, qui va commencer cette semaine. Et voilà, donc, si j'ai bien compris, c'est ça.
Oui, magnifique.
Merci.
Merci aussi, Laurentine. So now we have new updates. I guess we already sort of talked about the voting, but as a reminder, please do vote. If you're registered to vote, we have a link tree for the WADA proposals, and we want to support our licensed hubs with their Fund 12 proposals. So if you have not already submitted your Fund 12 proposals to Samuel's request, we would love to advertise at least one proposal from each hub to help you get some visibility.
Megan, here, just to add something related to what you have just said regarding the support for our license hubs. I sent a mail to all the hub leads yesterday requesting that they send at least one proposal that they submitted in Fund 12 so that we can publicize and do a lot of promotion activities. The ones that we received, yes, we have done a link tree for that. And so I'm going to put it in the chat for everybody to see. And right after here, we'll start with the promotion activities. We are still encouraging the rest who have not yet submitted to do that in the course of time. Voting is underway, as you just said, and it is ending on the 11th of July. So it means we have like 6 days to go. So please do send us your proposals and let's help with the promotion activities so that in the end you can receive funding. Thank you.
Et est-ce que je peux traduire ça déjà?
Oui, Laurentine, merci.
D'accord. Donc, à ce niveau, nous sommes en train de parler toujours de la mise à jour du réseau. Et comme on l'a déjà précisé plus haut, les votes ont commencé depuis le 27 et s'achèvent le 11 juillet. Il y a donc cette plateforme-là qu'on appelle Linktree, où les projets sont soumis, les liens de projet sont soumis et on encourage chaque personne ayant soumis son projet à partager ce projet-là avec. Je pense que cette plateforme sera mise à la disposition des membres du groupe. Je veux dire des représentants des qui puissent soumettre leur projet. Mais Samuel disait comme ça qu'il a déjà eu à partager un lien, je veux dire une adresse, un email avec tous les représentants des rues pour leur permettre de soumettre leur projet pour que la communauté puisse leur permettre d'avoir un peu de visibilité. Alors, si vous n'avez pas encore soumis vos projets, vous n'avez pas encore répondu à cet email-là, c'est le moment de le faire. Et notez que le délai pour le vote, c'est le 11 juillet. Il ne nous reste que 6 jours. Merci.
Okay, I see Manfo has a question. If it's a quick question, you can ask now.
Yeah, hi all. Can you guys hear me?
Loud and
Manfo.
clear.
Oh, great. Thank you. So just a quick one. Samuel, you said that Herbs should send over, one proposal. I wonder what qualifies as a Herb proposal. Like if we were approached to someone, to seek our support in navigating the whole submission process, and we ourselves as a Herb didn't submit a proposal. Can we reference the person? At least one of those proposals? Thank you.
If I get you well, your hub did not officially put in any proposal for Fund 12, but you want to do what exactly? Please, can you clarify that?
So people did approach us to help with submitting proposals. In that case, can we, promote them in the sense of we help them input the proposal, navigate them through the process? Does that count as a hub proposal technically?
This was strictly a decision to help our licensed hubs and the respective proposals that you put in. This is the new information I'm having from you. Please, let's take it off this platform. We can discuss about that, and I'll give you a good feedback.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Manfo.
Je ne sais pas si je dois traduire ça, Megan.
Ah, bon, pas forcément parce qu'ils ont décidé de continuer la conversation hors ligne.
D'accord.
And I'm gonna take over the screen share, I think, at this point. Sorry, Richmond. Hope you don't mind. Okay, let's see. There might be a delay. Is anyone seeing a new screen yet?
Not yet.
Okay, I think it's working now. Next, we have an exciting announcement from our very own Josh regarding the Intersect Regional Hubs. Josh, are you here?
Hello, yes, I am. Good day. I see a hand raised. I don't know if that's still relevant now, but I can start if not.
Oh, so
Have you got my slides or am I sharing screen?
I guess you can take over the screen share.
Okay.
Yeah. Hello, Josh. Please share your screen. We didn't cover your slides, so you can go ahead, share your screen. Thanks.
All right. All right then. So what we have here is just a few slides describing the process for the next few months on the Intersect community hubs. So WADA have been contracted to launch several community hubs on behalf of Intersect throughout Africa, and this is the plan. You've likely heard about several updates, announcements, and so on. Throughout the last month, we've been planning and coordinating with the regional leads and also some of the community and country managers. And now we're ready to launch it and give you all some dates to look forward to, especially those that are located in the regions that we're working in for this project. So these are the countries and dates. We've got the DRC.
Sorry, Josh. I
Yeah.
wonder if you could pause after each slide so Laurentine can
translation.
translate. Yes,
Got
please.
you.
Thank you. Laurentine?
Oui, maintenant, c'est la présentation de Josh concernant le projet Intersect Africa. Et WADA a pour responsabilité d'organiser une série de hubs pour représenter Intersect. Et les derniers mois, ils ont essayé de se réunir pour organiser cela et finalement, ils sont prêts à inaugurer les différents les différents centres qui vont représenter Intersect Africa dans les pays qu'ils ont choisis. Voilà, donc ils sont sur le point de lancer. We can continue.
All right. So next we have the countries and dates. So we'll have the DRC in July, launching this month. Then we'll have Ghana in August, and we'll finish up with Kenya in September.
Et donc, en République démocratique du Congo, on aura un événement en juillet. Je veux dire, l'inauguration se fera en juillet. Au Ghana, ce sera en octobre, en août, autant pour moi. Et au Kenya, ce sera en septembre.
All right. And then these are the events and timelines. So this is an example for this month. So we'll be having a pre-launch event coming up, July 13th. The QR code is pretty small. I don't know if you can scan that or not, but we'll have another edition available. Then we'll have the main launch event coming later in July, and we'll finish up with a town hall. So those will be for new members and other people who have registered that want to find out more.
Et donc, cela va se passer en 3 étapes. On aura la première étape qui sera la pré-inauguration et qui va concerner les hubs régionaux. Et ensuite, on aura l'inauguration principale pour le hub de Goma. Et ensuite, on aura la pré-inauguration, le temps hors de la pré-inauguration.
All right. And then lastly, these are the regional leads that will be working with us for this project. So we'll have Megan in Central Africa, Afia in West Africa, and Jeremiah overseeing East Africa. And they'll be working with several country managers, individuals that you know. And then over the span of their project, they'll also be giving updates at these town halls for their relevant months.
Et nous avons comme responsable régionaux, Megan qui va s'occuper de l'Afrique centrale. On aura Ephia qui sera responsable de l'Afrique de l'Ouest et Jeremiah qui sera responsable de l'Afrique de l'Est. Mais il y aura également des managers pays qui seront responsables aussi de faire des rapports mensuels.
All right then. So yeah, it's a short and snappy one today. That's all. These are 2 links to Intersect specific channels that you can follow. So the Twitter is for the Intersect WADA, and then follow the Discord channel for also the Intersect WADA channel within there. So you can follow, those are new links. So go ahead and scan those if you want to find out more.
D'accord. Ici, nous avons 2 liens de différentes plateformes de Intersect WADA, le lien Twitter et le lien Discord. On vous invite à scanner ces différents codes-là pour accéder aux différentes plateformes.
All right then. So yeah, I'll pause here, finish up. Thanks, Laurentine, for translating, and back over to you, Megan.
Merci.
All right, excellent. Thanks, Josh. That's some really exciting stuff. Looking forward to the next months and more collaborations with Intersect. So I'm going to take back over the screen share. Sorry, all my computer is a bit slow today. But while I queue the screen up, we will next be joined by Nana Safu, who will be presenting to us on some DREP educational materials. Nana Safu, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here. I hope you can hear me loud and clear.
Oh, it's great.
Nice.
And is my screen coming through now?
Yes, it is.
Yes, Megan, yeah.
Excellent.
Very sharp.
Okay, take it away, Nana Safu.
All right. Thank you for having me. And let me issue out a thank you to all who have made it a time to join us today. I'm so much grateful and happy to share with you guys this particular educational content. I think today marks the introductory aspect. I wish I could share, a video of myself, but then the network is not really stable. So let's just manage the faceless like that, and then use the auditory aspect. So today we're going to learn about the DREP. And for this particular day, being the introductory aspect, I just wanted to touch on the glossary and some terminologies. And then hopefully in the next 4 or 5 weeks to come, we are going to dive deeper into the actual stuff when we say DREP, as far as 1694 and then catalyst is concerned. Next slide, please. So today, like I said, we are looking at the appendix, which is basically the glossary of the whole DREP initiative. I believe we have all heard about, or we've all heard the term DREP, and sometimes people are wondering what exactly is DREP. If we are to break it down, DREP basically means decentralized representative, and it is more like a shorthand, right, for the delegate representative that we talk about in the Catalyst community and also with the CIP 1694 implementation. So in the documentations, we define DREP as a person or entity who is given the voting power by way of delegation from other wallets. And then we also have a delegator under DREP. So the delegator basically is the person or the entity who decides to delegate their voting power to a DREP. And that for now, I could say is all of us, because we are all, probably holding a certain amount of ADA that sometime to come, we probably might delegate this ADA to some DREPs, typically Wada DREP, so that they vote on proposals on our behalf. We also have the ADA holder, which also refers to the person or the entity who has an amount of ADA in their wallet. So like right now, voting is ongoing for Fund 12. And if you want to vote, you need to have at least 500 ADA threshold. And, during the snapshot, if you have that amount of money in your wallet, you get a chance to participate in the voting. So I'm pretty much sure the majority of us here are ADA holders, and, so we fall under this particular category. So we are also going to, meet CIP 1694. I know we have had several workshops before, and some of you probably know. Let me just confirm this. I'm speaking English, so let me just choose English and then see. Yeah, and some of us got a chance to actually participate in the CIP 1694 workshops, and it was marvelous. So we're going to meet that again. So what basically is the CIP 1694? It seeks to actually introduce a new on-chain governance model for Cardano. And then, the CIP basically wants to advance the current governance system and ensuring every ADA holder has a voice in Cardano's governance. So initially, we used to have, our own style of governance in the Cardano community, but now, things are growing even further and of being officiated and all. So we need to have a certain stream of constitution to ensure that whatever it is that we are doing, it's in line with documentations and meeting the vision of Cardano at large. So the proposal basically outlines a tricameral model consisting of stake pool operators, which is a SPOs. We also have the delegated representatives, which I've already mentioned about the DREPs. And we're also going to have constitutional committee. I believe some of you have seen it around, in this week. And then they all have their own distinct responsibilities and roles. And actually, anybody here can actually decide to join any that they want to join. And some of them come with prerequisite requirements, like hardware requirements and software requirements. Some of them also come with technical knowledge and know-how. Some of them too, you don't really need any of these. You just have to join and then make your contribution and make your way through to the top. Next slide, please. I'm sure we're not going to have the French version, so I would invite Laurentine to translate. Next slide, Megan. Yeah. Laurentine.
Yes, I'm here. Am I supposed to translate? It's
Yes.
very intense, so I can't.
You can't.
Oh, it's just, bon, comme on a un peu réécrit tout ça en
D'accord, je vois
français.
qu'on a, ok, d'accord, je vais le faire.
Yeah, so
On a
just
pas
read for
remarqué
it.
ça.
Et si
Ça
tu as des
marche, je vais le
questions,
faire.
Laurentine, tu peux aussi poser des questions en clarifiant aussi.
Ça marche, pas de souci. OK, donc je commence par ça, non? Le glossaire, là.
Oui.
Voilà, donc Nana Safo est en train de nous donner une introduction sur le D-Rep. Et il se disait que depuis un certain temps, on parle de D-Rep, mais les gens se demandent peut-être ce que c'est. Donc, D-Rep, c'est juste une abréviation pour dire représentant délégué. Bon, c'est toute personne physique ou morale ayant reçu le pouvoir de vote délégué par d'autres personnes, ou bien par d'autres portefeuilles. Et nous avons également le mot délégant, c'est les personnes physiques ou morales qui décident de déléguer leurs fonds ou bien leur pouvoir de vote à un direct. Et un détenteur d'EDA, comme vous le savez, c'est toute personne physique ou morale disposant d'un montant de crypto-monnaie et un certain montant d'EDA, quoi. Et nous avons le CIP 1694, CIP 1694, qui introduit un modèle de gouvernance en chaîne pour Cardano. Et si j'ai bien entendu, Nana Safo était en train de dire que auparavant, les différents hubs avaient leur propre délégation, leur propre, je veux dire, gouvernance, mais depuis un certain temps, ce n'est plus le cas. Donc, ce site vise à améliorer le système qui est en cours, le système de gouvernance qui est en cours pour assurer que chaque détenteur d'EDA ait au moins une voix dans la gouvernance de Cardano. On peut passer, we can move to the next slide.
Okay, thanks, Laurentine, for that translation. So I had made mention of governance actions, and take note, these are terms that we're actually going to meet in our subsequent meetings. So you want to befriend them so that when we meet them, you don't find yourself trying to understand what we are talking about. It is a bit technical, so it is good for you to get it right from the beginning before we even transcend to the next sessions, which are going to be very intense. So now we are going to look at governance actions, and it is basically an on-chain event triggered by a transaction that can be triggered by any ADA holder. Actually, that is either you or me. We can all trigger what do you call it, a governance action. And these actions also have expiration periods, which means that after a certain time, the actions are going to expire, being it, you've voted on it or you've not voted on it, it's going to expire after some time. And afterwards, it cannot be enacted anymore. So that is it. And any ADA holder, like I said, can submit a governance action for a vote on chain. And then once the action is recorded on the ledger, voters must submit voting transactions. So that is where the power of the DREPs will come in, and direct voters would also come in from there. We are going to also meet something called metadata anchor. And in the context of 1694, the metadata anchors are a mechanism to attach contextual data to an on-chain governance artifact. And this basically has to do with, for instance, if you're creating a Facebook account, at some point in time you'll be asked to provide details of yourself, like update your profile with your information and all. So this is the crypto style of actually updating your profile on the blockchain ecosystem. So we here, you have the it includes a URL pointing to metadata plaintext, which basically has a hash of the plaintext metadata hosted at the metadata URL. And the metadata URL plaintext you're talking about basically is going to contain your profile. And for delegators to actually delegate to you as a DREP, they will have to read this profile to ensure that indeed you meet, or you'll be able to execute the work when given the chance to do so. So it is going to be very critical when you are setting up your DREP account. To become a DREP, it is going to be very important for you to pay attention to this metadata anchor part of things. And then the hash can be used to verify the integrity of the metadata hosted at the URL. And then this can be attached to on-chain DREP registration to allow DREP to share profile information hosted off-chain, like I've already explained. And then such metadata should conform to the structure defined by SIP 0100, which is a governance metadata for subsequent CIPs. I believe the link will be shared later, so you can go through if you want to actually have a read. It is quite detailed over there. Next slide, please. Okay, Laurentine.
D'accord, donc Nana Safo disait que c'est important pour nous de connaître ces choses au préalable parce que lorsqu'on va commencer la formation, on va entrer dans des moments, dans des sessions très, très intenses et c'est bien pour chacun de maîtriser déjà ces expressions techniques, ces thèmes techniques-là. Et nous avons parlé d'action de gouvernance qui est une action de gouvernance comme le nom l'indique. Et c'est un événement en chaîne déclenché par une transaction. Et les actions de gouvernance ont une période d'expiration après laquelle l'action ne peut plus être mise en œuvre. Et il a précisé que tout détenteur d'EDA peut soumettre une action de gouvernance à un vote de chaîne. Une fois l'action enregistrée sur le registre distribué, les électeurs soumettent des transactions de vote. Il y a également ce qu'on appelle entre de métadonnées. Et dans le contexte du CIP 1694, il s'agit d'un mécanisme permettant d'attacher les données contextuelles aux artefacts de gouvernance en chaîne. Et ces éléments comprennent un lien pointant vers les métadonnées en texte clair et un hachage des métadonnées en texte clair également hébergé sur le lien des métadonnées en question. Et le hachage peut être utilisé pour vérifier l'intégrité des métadonnées hébergées sur le lien. Et ces métadonnées peuvent être attachées à des enregistrements de DREP sur la chaîne pour permettre au DREP de partager des informations de profil hébergé en dehors de la chaîne. Donc, ces métadonnées doivent être conformes à la structure définie de la norme ou des sites ultérieurs. Merci.
Okay. So, slow but sure, we are getting there. I believe this is the final glossary that we are going to look at. So, there are some more SIPs that have actually come into play. And we have SIP 30 and we also have SIP 95. And I think with the DREP initiative, you're going to refer sometimes to, some elements from these constitutional implementation. So we need to at least get ourselves abreast with what they mean and then what they were focused on. So if you look at SIP 30, for instance, it defines communication between web-based tax and Cardano wallets. This is a bit technical. I mean, I believe those who are more into the technical side of the Cardano ecosystem, you probably understand what I mean by web-based tax and then what the Cardano wallets are. I believe we all know what Cardano wallets are about. When we talk about web-based tax, I'm sure those who are doing the development are those ones that can actually relate with it. And then the API offers base generic functionality to allow dApps, which are decentralized applications to query wallet information such as wallet balance, network connection, and UTXOs owned. So you realize that whenever you open your wallet gets to sync. And when it syncs, it shows you your current balance. And, sometimes even with something like, I think Ethereum, Eternal and Euro for now, when you are using it, they are able to show you the current ADA price as compared to, USDT. So this is the API that actually supports all of these functionalities on your wallet that you see beautiful like that. And then the SIP 95 extends the functionality of the SIP 30 to add specific support for governance functionality. And then this allows sharing of DREP identifying keys between wallets and dApps to allow dApps to identify users who have registered as DREPs on chain. And this is very important because in the DREP implementation, we are going to have something we call cyber attacks, where people tend to actually create multiple DREP accounts and operate them on their own. So like you have one person just operating about 5 different DREP accounts, which is not really good for the community, right? So this 95 is actually going to help us share the identification keys to be able to verify how many DREPs are actually registered with one account or something, so that we get to avoid these cyber attacks and all. I think I'll end here so that Laurentine can translate for us, and then we move on.
Please go back to the previous slide. I mean, okay, okay, sorry. No, please, the French version. I thought to change it. Thank you. Donc, nous allons parler maintenant des CIP. Il est à noter qu'il y a plusieurs CIP en dehors de CIP 94 et nous devons tous nous habituer à cela. Alors, ici, premièrement, nous avons le CIP 30 qui est défini, ce CIP définit la communication entre les stacks basés sur le web et portefeuille Cardano. Et Nana, ça faut expliquer que parfois, lorsque vous ouvrez vos portefeuilles, vous vous rendez compte que cela synchronise et vous pouvez voir en temps réel l'équivalent, la valeur que vous avez et l'équivalent en dollars ou quelque chose comme ça. Et nous avons également, bon, je pense qu'il a aussi parlé de CIP 95 et il disait que c'était je sais pas, c'est une extension du CIP 30 et que cela permettait d'éviter qu'il y ait plusieurs direct par portefeuille, si je ne me trompe pas, par compte. En fait, ça permet de protéger le système contre les fraudes, dans ce sens que ça permet de contrôler le nombre de directs pour chaque portefeuille. Et donc, si je vais lire littéralement ce qui est écrit là, il est écrit que ce IPA offre des fonctionnalités génériques de base pour permettre aux DApp d'interroger les informations du portefeuille, telles que le solde du portefeuille, la connexion du réseau et les UTXOS. Je ne sais pas trop ce que ça veut dire, mais pour ceux qui sont très techniques, ils vont comprendre de quoi il s'agit. Et cela est précédé par le CIP 95, et ce CIP c'est une extension, comme je le disais, de l'API du site 30 pour permettre d'ajouter un support spécifique pour la fonctionnalité de la gouvernance. Et il est précisé que cela permet de partager les clés d'identification, comme j'expliquais, des DREP entre les portefeuilles et les DApp dans les applications décentralisées afin de permettre à ces DApp-là d'identifier les utilisateurs qui sont enregistrés en tant que DREP en chaîne. Merci.
Okay. Thanks, Laurentine. So, I think on the next slide, we're going to enjoy some videos, but I just want to say this before we get to enjoy the videos that we're talking about. So at the end of this whole workshop, which probably will be somewhere, I guess, I think the very first week of August, we probably will be setting up the Wada DREP on the testnet, and I will give each and everyone the chance to actually either delegate to it, and of course we're going to motivate everyone also to take up the chance of actually creating their own or becoming DREPs, right? Even though it comes with some form of resources that you probably need to get. So if of course you don't have the resources, then you probably would want to delegate to a DREP, an existing DREP, so that they can vote on your behalf. And we all know that when it comes to Africa, WADA takes front in pushing and what is the word here? WADA takes front in actually pushing and making sure that projects that are actually building in Africa here, it's getting the necessary attention that we are getting. So obviously, when we create a WADA DREP, if you don't have the enough resources to actually create your own DREP, then what it means is that we are going to encourage you to delegate your ADA to the WADA DREP, so that we can vote on proposals on your behalf in relation to the CIP 1694 and then the catalyst, so that you don't get or you're not left out. Yeah. And this presentation, this user presentation, I've actually divided it into 4 main modules that we are going to look at in the next few weeks. So you don't want to miss out on any of them, because they are very, very necessary for you to know as far as the DREP stuff is concerned. So yeah, join us the next Thursday, so that we go through the module 1, which we are going to look at detailed definitions for DREP and what the role really is, what it entails, and even if there are any rewards that comes with it, and what the constitution looks like as well. So please don't miss out. I'm grateful having you here today, but join me once again next Thursday so that we do this together. Yeah, thanks. Megan, let's enjoy the video.
Ok, je m'excuse pour aujourd'hui. Comme je mentionnais avant, nous allons faire peut-être une traduction un peu désordonnée. Il n'y a pas, par exemple, une traduction pour cette vidéo, ça serait en anglais, mais je vais mettre les sous-titres en anglais pour faciliter au moins un peu la compréhension. Je voulais juste souligner certaines choses que Nana Safo vient de dire, que Wada va aussi commencer notre propre DREP. Je voulais ajouter que je fais partie d'un DREP qui existe déjà. Si quelqu'un veut nous rejoindre, c'est un mode test. Alors, il n'y a rien, bon, comment on dit? Nothing at stake. On accumule le test ADA et on peut déléguer le test ADA. Alors, pour ceux qui veulent pratiquer, on vous invite à nous rejoindre. J'ai posté le lien dans le chat. En anticipation pour l'éventuel DREP de Wada, vous pouvez pratiquer avec cette DREP. Just to add really quickly again in English, so Nana Safo brought up that WADA will be starting a DREP and some of the challenges, with actual resources. I just wanted to invite anyone who is interested in practicing and testing it out. I am involved in existing test DREP. There's nothing at stake. You can actually accumulate test ADA through the faucet and practice delegating to a DREP. So there's more information on that in the link that I provided. There's nothing at stake here. Like I said, it's just test to practice. So for anyone who's excited on getting involved in that before the WADA DREP launches, feel free to reach out to me, or if you follow that link, you can get some more information. And if you want to actually join us in terms of participating, there's a form you can fill out as well. But we'll play there are 2 short videos here, and then we'll have a little bit of time for Q&A. So I will now play the videos.
Okay, Megan, so I think you have to share your screen with that sound.
Oh, okay. We practiced this and I thought it was sharing sound. So no one's hearing the sound?
Yeah, there's no sound for now.
Okay, let me try again. Okay, I think my screen has frozen.
Oops. I could share from here if that works.
Okay, if you could give it a try, I'll try to sort out my side. But if you can get it up ahead of time, that would be great.
Let me just try share screen. I hope you can see my screen.
Yeah, yours is good.
Okay.
As an ADA holder, ever wondered who makes big decisions on Cardano development? Let's talk about delegate representatives, or DREPs. So, true governance takes time and effort. It's like trying to solve a super hard puzzle, And let's be honest, it can overwhelm a lot of ADA holders. When people get overwhelmed, they might just skip out on voting altogether. And when that happens, we get low engagement and decisions that don't really reflect what the community wants. That's where our heroes, the D-Reps, come in. D-Reps are like your governance experts. They are trusted members of the community, understand deeply about Cardano, and can make the right decisions on your behalf. By letting a D-Rep vote for you, you make sure your voice is still heard, without all the headache. Think of it like ordering a pizza with a bunch of friends. If everyone has to decide on every single topping, it takes forever, and some people just give up. But if you let one friend who knows everyone's favorites handle the order, it's way easier. That friend is like a D-Rep. D-Reps vote on important proposals, speak up for the community, and keep things transparent. They make the whole governance process smoother and more effective. Think of them as a responsible and trusted friend. If they care for all of their friends, they are responsible for the final best common decision. With D-Reps, Cardano's governance gets a big boost in efficiency and inclusivity. So why wait? Join the D-Rep workshop to learn more and help shape the future of Cardano's governance.
Okay.
Nana Safo, for the next one, could you add the closed caption just to help a little bit for the French speakers since we don't have translation?
Okay. Yeah, sure. Let me see if that works. So subtitles, right?
Yeah, it's just the C, I think CC button.
Ever wondered how decisions are made in Cardano? Let's talk about the big picture of Cardano's governance. Cardano's governance is like a giant group project where everyone's voice matters, but we've got some challenges. Many ADA holders don't participate because it's too complex or confusing, and we need to keep everything clear and make sure everyone's doing their part. Plus, coordinating all the different roles can feel like herding cats. Good governance is like having a great team captain for our group project. When everyone pitches in, we make better decisions together. And strong governance keeps our project running smoothly, no matter what challenges come our way. Think about it as a football match. We've got key players like stake pool operators, SPOs, D-Reps, and the Interim Constitution Committee, ICC. SPOs are like goalkeepers, steadfastly holding the collective trust and ensuring everyone can move forward confidently and without hesitation. D-Reps are like team captains, voting on behalf of their teammates, ADA holders. And the Constitutional Committee are match referee officials, keeps the rulebook in check. ADA holders can pass their votes to D-Reps or vote directly. Every voice counts. Want to join the fun? Come to the D-Rep workshop and help shape Cardano's future. Your input can make a huge difference. Be a captain of the team. A D-Rep.
Okay. So that is it. Yeah, that is it. So I think, like I said earlier, next week we're going to look at the module 1, which covers the rules and then the governance itself. So please don't miss out. Make sure to join us. And I think there's going to be a room for, our French colleagues as well. So, you don't get to, hassle with translations and all. It's going to be fun. So don't forget to join us. Megan, over to you.
Ok, bon, merci beaucoup à tout le monde d'être venu aujourd'hui. Aujourd'hui était vraiment une introduction bref. Alors, on vous invite à nous rejoindre pour les prochaines séances. Comme je mentionnais avant, on va mieux se diviser en termes de langue. La semaine prochaine, nous allons avoir une salle séparée pour les francophones. Alors, bon, si ça vous a intéressé aujourd'hui, pour avoir encore plus de détails et plus d'informations, venez surtout la semaine prochaine. So I think we have some time for any questions, if anyone had any questions or feedback or comments. Thanks everyone for being here today. I know we went over a lot from all the announcements and to the actual DREP introduction. But feel free to raise your hand, or if you want to just come off of mute. Monfo? Hey.
Hey, so first of all, thank you, Samuel, and Megan for putting all of this together. Nana Safo instead. It's, I think it's a wonderful presentation. So my question, I do have two questions, and the first one is about the the pizza example. I couldn't really find myself into it, so maybe you could think about another example that could speak a lot more to us. But this is just a funny thing. The second one, it's just a curious question about, do you have any insight on how this, and I know we'll get into more details, but I just want to ask this question and clarify some things in my head. Do you know whether you'll be able to delegate your staked ADA? How does it work? Is it like, if you have delegated your ADA to let's say an SPO, would you be able to delegate the same ADA to a DREP? Is that this thing? How does it work? Do you have any insight on that? Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Manfo, for the question. I think these are beautiful questions. Let me take off with the delegation part, then probably I'll come on to the pizza part. Right. So with the delegation part, what is going to happen now is that SPOs have their own functions that they're actually playing in the community. And then the DREPs are also going to have their own functions that they're going to play in the community. But of course, we cannot, it cannot be said that for each person who wants to actually delegate their ADA to a DREP, then they should probably stop delegating their ADA to, stake pool operators, because they also have their own functions that they're playing, right? So it is going to be the same ADA, but then there's a capability of delegating the same ADA to, SPOs, and at the same time to DREPs, so that they are all able to carry out with their functionalities. And I think when we get into the reward structure, we'll get to understand more of how this is actually going to work, and how it is going to impact the initiative at large. I believe that answers your question, but if you have a follow-up, you can come up with, please. And then
Sorry, Nana Safo, can I jump in a bit?
Okay.
My understanding in terms of delegation is that, so there are like three branches of governance here. There's DREPs, there's stake pools, and then there's the constitutional committee. So it's actually very possible for you to you should be delegating your ADA to a stake pool as well as to a DREP. That's right. Yeah. So it's like encouraged, I would say. It maybe even required, actually.
So basically,
do you know about that one?
Yeah, so basically you don't need to stop delegating your ADA to your stake pool to want to be part of the DREP initiative, right? Go ahead, leave it, allow it to, allow the delegation. Then with the DREP to, you can come. And moreover, right now we are still at the testnet phase. So like Megan said earlier, there's nothing to lose. We're going to use test ADA to handle all of these transactions. But of course, once we migrate into the mainnet, if there are any issues with being able to delegate with delegate to stake pool operators, and also delegating to your DREP, obviously it is going to be resolved before we even get into mainnet. And that is why we are urging and inviting everybody to be on board to actually help us with the experience, because the feedback matters a lot in terms of the development phase. Yeah.
Okay. Great. Thank you.
You're welcome. And then with the pizza example you're talking about, it basically has to be with, for instance, let's just say there are about 5 kids in a room. Okay, there are about 5 kids in a room, and we have we've placed a pizza at the doorstep. Okay, and then we say all the 5 kids should rush and go and pick up the pizza. Obviously, what we are going to see is some sort of accident. There's going to be people struggling to everybody wants to get the pizza, right? But then when that happens, it means that there's going to be shakes in the governance system. But then when we say that, okay, there's a pizza at the doorstep, right? Amongst the 5 of you, nominate one person that you believe can actually go and pick up the pizza, to go and pick up the pizza and then come and share for you guys. So they get to nominate one person. The person goes to the doorstep, picks up the pizza, and then comes back to them and then share the pizza for them to actually get it. So the difference here is that because they are nominating one person to go and pick it up, right? There's very less chance of the pizza getting scrambled or even destroyed. But once they are all going to struggle for it, there's a very high chance of the pizza actually getting destroyed and even somebody not getting some to even eat. I don't know if that makes sense to you, but I think there's going to be a lot more examples in the presentations in the coming weeks. So, you might want to stick around.
I think, I think Mamfa's problem was with pizza. And we should have our own African food analogy.
Well, not necessarily, just something more contextual,
Yes,
just thinking of pizza. Not everybody knows how it goes, So
okay.
that was it.
That's a beautiful point. I'll work around it during the presentation. I'll come up with a more contextual example to actually make it easy for people to understand. Thanks for the feedback as well.
Yeah, good feedback. No, this is exciting. I think, as we mentioned, probably more questions will come up as we get into the weeds. The next few sessions will be much more in-depth. So definitely encourage everyone to join.
Okay, so Megan, I just want to say that, sorry for interruption. I just want to say that first, Nana Safo, thank you very much. It's been a great presentation. You're on top of what you do, and it's good. Thank you, Laurentine. Thank you, everybody. But Nana Safo, if there are more questions, time is up. I think Megan was just wrapping up. There could be more questions that people do not get the opportunity to ask ahead of next week. If you don't mind, put your some mail or maybe a social media handle so that people probably want to contact you for further questions ahead of next week. That would be great. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you. I think that's a great idea. So I'm putting my email in the chat right now. You can send me an email with your question, and then I'll answer you before next week. Or better still, if you want, you can just no, I mean, let's go it this way. I think that will help everybody. So just send me an email with your question, probably with a title as DREP Educational Program -WADA. Then your question follows in the main body. Then I'll respond to you. Thank you.
All right, yes, a big shout out to Laurentine. Thank you so much for being here today and helping with translation. Really, really appreciate it. And that concludes today's session of the Wada Forum. We will have a little bit more time of the room being open, and I will open up a breakout room for the DRC Intersect Hub launch discussion that we started last week. But at this point, I think I can stop the recording. Hold on a second. Maybe I can't. I don't know. Oh, here we go.
Let me try and see if it works from here. I think I